I'm going to throw a curveball. I think Travis Hunter's going to have to get used to being a wide receiver too.
Apparently he's knocked the hell out of Joe Burrow as well.
And he's doing press-ups on the sideline.
Brock Bowers is a bust.
Wow. Hello and welcome to the Early Hours podcast. Yes, we might have a snazzy introduction, but I promise you we have no idea what we're doing. This podcast is by UK NFL fans for sports fans around the world. It's just what the NFL needs, is another podcast. Joining me throughout the entire season, we've got Oliver Gallimore and Matthew Smales. Boys, we don't really need to do big introductions. We'll learn about everyone throughout the rest of the season. But a big talking point, actually, before we start, is what is everyone drinking? My Bev check of choice is a Coke Zero. Now, this isn't the first time we've done a Bev check in some of the tests. This isn't a surprising segment. Somebody should be Bev checking, right?
I don't have a Bev.
I have a relatively warm water.
That
However,
man's got a
something
Bev.
to surprise the fans, I do also have a chocolate fudge
Not
protein
sponsored.
beverage.
If you
However,
would like to send some protein yogurts our way,
God,
100%.
It's going to get cooked. This is
great.
going to get cooked.
No, it's not
I
getting
have,
cooked.
however-
We're in now. We're in the record.
I have run out of time to eat it, so it's now going warm for the next hour. So enjoy the pod, guys.
Right, so
I'm
that
hungry.
is. So you've had all summer to prepare and no Bev. It's the look on your
Terrible.
face is well, it says it all, isn't it? Anyway, pre-season, we're in the thick of it. What a time to start. Let's just have a quick look at some of the games that obviously were played last week. Packers 10, Jets 30. That's we got a little bit spanked, Oliver. Should we be worried?
Yeah, it is cause for concern, isn't it? I know. It's pre-season. There's injuries. People are, fielding players for the first time. Offense looks scrappy. You're playing B teams. It's just, look, there was enough of an issue with Jordan Love not playing particularly well for the 8 snaps he was on the field. Wide receivers still appear to be dropping the ball. Thought that was a thing that we were going to leave in 2024. Apparently not. Yeah, I tell you what though, Justin Fields had a hell of a game, and we've got to give credit to him. I know I'm repping the G as always, but yeah, he looked great.
You know what?
So.
You mentioned that. I'm not repping. I see all the other boys. They seem to be repping their gear. Here we are. I still fully believe. At least we got into double digits in that preseason game. Can't be said about the 49ers against the Broncos. Smales, what's happened?
Well, unlike the Packers, we didn't play our starting quarterback, so no need for concern. No, for the first quarter, it was our seconds up against the Broncos first. We were 9-0 up. As soon as we took Matthew Jones and crew off, we didn't score another point. So the Broncos defense dominated after that. Jarrett Stidham played really well, annoyingly. Solid QB too they've got there, and genuinely a really good team. Quickly, just to give the Packers a little bit of credit, Amar Johnson looked really good at running back as an RB2. But yeah, Justin Fields, 79 yards on literally one drive is really quite cool. And then obviously a rushing touchdown, which is always fun to see from your QB early on.
I think Justin Fields can cook. I do. I think he could cook.
Yeah,
I think he's good.
It's concerning actually. He does look like he could have a really good. Although I did just see in training camp he's had a hell of a bad day. He threw 3 dropped screen passes, which is quite extraordinary in training camp. But no, and the last thing I would say, just to not be all doom and gloom on the Packers and opening the season, Matty Golden is really, really pushing for that WR1 spot. I'm serious.
Yeah.
At the minute we are so far down the list on terms of wide receiver. We might even at this point be swapping Bo Melton back. So which is
the new
extraordinary.
CB1?
We are the Bo Melton fan club round here.
It really is incredible.
No,
but anyway,
well, look, watch this space. There will be a Matty Golden shirt appearing on this podcast at some point throughout the season. Mark these words. That is our
Love
boy.
that.
He might not be Smells' boy,
that.
but that is our boy. Fully believe in that man. Thank goodness we drafted a wide receiver. That's very unlike us. A couple more games just to talk about. Bears Dolphin, a tie at 24 apiece. Chicago, they've not really turned up. Caleb Williams hasn't been who they thought he would be, and he's actually looking even worse, which I didn't think would be possible.
Who'd have thought we're going to bury Bears fans?
Don't look at the hat.
Sort of
Already.
5 minutes into the first.
Can we not just have 5 minutes, guys?
Just
think
5 minutes.
To be fair to the Bears, I think they fielded a very third-string team. The Dolphins were stronger.
He did. Caleb didn't play, did he? Caleb
No.
didn't take a snap.
Oh, here I am just digging into him.
Bears.
He actually didn't play.
Don't let it
For you
change.
guys, the Bears D-line looks very good.
Yeah, they do.
Very good. They were really getting through, and whoever the Dolphins second string were, just two I think played. Did he play one drive? Yeah, they look good.
They played a series, yeah.
They played a weaker team and got out of there with a draw. I think it looks good. They need to be a 10-win team this year.
Yeah, some part of that Bears team does need to show up, so at least their D-line does. And lastly, the game I just want to keep talking about quickly is the Patriots scored 48 points against the Commanders. It's quite a shocking time. Time's changing in New England.
Hey, listen. They've brought Trayvon Henderson. He's only gone and run 100
100 yards.
Yeah, that was
which is
on his first NFL touch.
Unbelievable. What a statement to make.
Imagine.
And the commentary on that was popping off. So yeah, incredible, unbelievable start. But the Patriots
look good. Drake May's a bit hot and cold, isn't he? But
they could. They brought Diggs in. They didn't have a receiver last year, did they? They've brought.
Is he in and out?
They've brought Diggs in. And yeah, they look good. They look really good. I think they've strengthened. I think you'll still see Hunter Henry being quite a big talisman for them. It'll be interesting.
Well, as long as he's not up and he's down, then he'll have a good season. Pre-season,
it was
still fully on the way. You want to keep going, do you? You want to keep talking about the New England Patriots?
Yes, I do actually, because it was the same day as the 12-foot Tom Brady statue was revealed.
That's
However,
very true.
Very true.
What I will say very quickly is the Cardinals smashing the Chiefs to bits and Jacoby Brissett with 2 touchdowns in less than a quarter. So Kyler Murray is on a short leash.
Yeah,
honestly, boy is struggling.
I am telling you, I 100% agree with that. I think and this is an early shout, I think it's between him and Trevor Lawrence to lose their starting jobs this year.
I couldn't agree more. Genuinely, I think Trevor Lawrence is worse than Murray. I think Murray's got some sort of rushing, he's nimble, he's just not strong. One
thing I would say is Cardinals and Jaguars fans were not always this negative, but Chicago, get used to it.
Ouch. Okay, well, look, join us throughout the season for more terrible takes on the Chicago Bears. But moving on, we're still in preseason training. Has anybody noticed any camp issues across the board? I'll take one. Micah Parsons, he looks glum.
Oh, you've got my first one.
He looks there's a picture that came out today, and he's on the sideline sulking with his arms crossed, and I feel for that man. Where does he go?
You feel for that man?
I do. He's in a team that doesn't want to support him.
Yeah, it must be hard when he's already got a contract just seeking an extension. No, seriously, I do get it. It is frustrating. Look, he's just watched. He's essentially had an off season where defensive ends have literally broken the market about 4 times. So you've had Max Crosby, we've had Myles Garrett, we've had. I mean, granted, there is still Trey Hendrickson, out there. So, but I do feel you. I was just going to touch on it quickly. I was going to mention injuries. Injuries are through the roof at the minute in camp. We've had Shedeur Sanders off the back of a really, really positive opening game of the season. Looks like Dylan Gabriel might get a shoe-in now, which could be interesting for Shedeur's stock. We've had Sauce Gardner.
Really?
Fresh off a contract, picking up a calf injury. That's an interesting one.
How hard is too hard in training camp? Are these people pushing themselves, or?
Well, look, they're wearing the pads. We've got to train. We've got to play. Look at Jordan. He's played 8 snaps. Sorry, for to be specific, there, Jordan Love for the Green Bay Packers. He's played 8 snaps, and he's
done his thumb.
He's potentially out here. And actually, I was going to say one more. Really concerningly, flown right under the radar. The Chiefs' trio of wide receivers: Worthy, Brown, and Sky Moore. All out.
They're all gone
at the minute.
Poor old Rashee Rice on his charge. He still exists.
Well, Rashee
been a bad boy, but come
all
on.
sorts of business in it. But yeah, I mean, if we count Rashee as well, that's 4. So you best hope that Travis Kelce can defy Father Time and turn back the clock. But yeah,
it's a fine line in training camp between building toughness and then getting injuries. But again, all of those things, it all affects morale as well. You think about just the contract issues, people getting hit too hard. Terry McLaurin, he went to a yoga class instead of training apparently the other day. Trey Hendrickson issue. Obviously, the Bengals have had so many issues. Because obviously Shamar Stewart as well, and he's come back. He signed his contracts, and apparently he's knocked the hell out of Joe Burrow as well. Caused a fight and an issue.
It's not good.
And that's where you get rookies trying too hard. It's one of them things, isn't it?
Have you got that
we
list?
all feel the pain.
I mean, I think both of our teams are suffering big with injuries. Like you say, Watson,
horrendous.
Dobbs, Wicks, they're all sidelined.
Reed was wearing a boot in the first preseason game. It's just,
and he's doing press ups on the sideline, but he wants to be involved. But it's like, Jaden, if you can't run, then I'm afraid you can't be a wide receiver at the moment. But it's the same with you.
It's happening all over the league. It's happening all over the league.
It's the same with 49ers. Like how many boys have you got out, Smells?
Couldn't tell you, mate. Nick Bosa's not trained today either. CJ West has gone down. It's a disaster, mate. We do have I was going to come on to this later on potentially, but yeah, it's a real tough year for some of the guys. Purdy with his new contract, he's got genuinely no one to throw to that he's thrown to before. It's tough. Yeah.
Well, we're speaking of new contracts and new signings. Who do you think? Open up to the floor. Who do you think is going to completely 180 their team?
I've got two.
Two?
One is a 180, one isn't a 180. One we've already spoke about is Justin Fields.
I think he's going to ball out. I do.
The second one, it's not a 180, but it's the Devontae Adams trade. I think it shows, even though the Rams are a young team with a lot of cap space flying around with the young rookies, it's quite a win-now mentality signing Adams for what they've signed him for. I think that's very interesting with what they want to do.
With Fields, I think there's a few factors at play. I do think, obviously, we're always going to be super harsh on the quarterback. They always reap the rewards, but they also get they unfortunately get the criticism as well. I do think a lot relies on, Garrett Wilson's really never stood out as a top. I mean, I'm talking fantasy terms here, but he's never really stood out as a top fantasy top 15 wide receiver. Breece Hall's, there's a lot of pressure on Breece Hall. I've seen Allen for them, RB2 looks quite impressive, but I do think there's a couple of factors at play there. And then I think with the Rams, and I don't know if you were going to come on to this, Matt, but I think with the Rams, that's a really positive signing. That allows them, particularly in the West Coast scheme that McVay runs, motion in, opportunities to play Adams in the slot. He's obviously getting a bit older now. They probably won't have him on the outside. But yeah, just so much opportunity. I think it'll free up Puka Nacua. I think Puka Nacua could be on for a really strong
I completely
season.
agree. Nakua's been that target man, but now you've got a threat such as Devontae Adams. No one's going to know who to mark. I think obviously Nakua's going to go in being still wide receiver one, but it only takes, if you're going to focus on Nakua, you've got a threat like Devontae Adams, and he can catch the ball. He can run into the end zone. Yeah. I think he
and to throw another quick one into the mix. I think Dallas trading for George Pickens, I really think it opens up CeeDee Lamb's opportunities. I think Dak, when he's fit, makes CD a top, genuinely, this is just my opinion, top 3 receiver. For most, it'd be certainly top. It certifies him as a top 10 for most when Dak plays. They've never missed the playoffs with Dak when he's been fully fit. So
they've only won 2 playoff games, though, don't forget.
Yeah, they have.
Which is the funniest thing, of course.
I just think in terms of going back to that conversation around what players have changed things, I think Pickens will have a strong year, and I think it'll certainly open the door for CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah. Well, look, let's look ahead towards the next round of pre-season fixtures. Plenty of games. Is this when we start seeing teams starting to field, actual first team starters, or you get a bit more action maybe? Loads of good games. My game of the watch, if I'm going to have to pick one, it's Rams-Chargers, exactly for why you've mentioned there. You've got your Devontae Adams and your Puka Nacua split. Really excited if we get to see some game time with both of those on the field. But I think, Sean McVay, that'd be too telling at this early stage. But it's also the battle between the the rookies or the sophomores now with Nacua, and you've got Lab McConkey, 2 relatively new people to these leagues. And both have got quite a lot to prove in their retrospective LA teams. So I think that's what I'm really excited to see, and especially it's a home it's a home derby. So far, it's going to be electric either way.
100%, and exactly that. I think for the fans listening now, for listeners, if you're not familiar, LA Rams is an unbelievable sort of, we don't regularly get that game. They're in different divisions, but to have that opportunity to get a derby, both playing out at SoFi, really interesting. Another one and I might be stealing Matt's thunder here, but another derby this weekend as well. We've got the Jets Giants at MetLife, so that's a really interesting one.
We've got Justin Fields' #1 fan up here, so I mean, I'm sure he's I
think we can share that one, unfortunately, nowadays. Yeah.
But I do think to go back to your early question, Matt, I do think we will start to see a couple more starters. Generally, it's in the first and the third of the preseason weeks, and the 2 can often be a bit of a dud window. But you never know. I think there's people still out there that need to get reps. Travis Hunter, Dylan Gabriel's another opportunity for us to see. Yes, they're not they're not out and out starters, but the potential starters. Someone like the Browns, they've got 6 quarterbacks, they're potential starters. So, yeah, there's opportunity still to see players play.
It'd be nice to see Trey Lance as well, see if he can carry on the good early
100%.
pre-season form whilst
Justin
Herbert's out, of course. Yeah, he's irrelevant now to me. Trey Lance, just give him the gig.
Wow. I don't want to steal anyone's thunder here, but yeah, Rams, Chargers, my pick. Commanders, Bengals, they're up next. Colts, Packers, Lions, Dolphins. It's quite tasty.
Steelers, Bucks.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, Steelers, Bucks is a really good one.
Really, really tasty. Look, let's round out today's episode with a segment we'll dot in throughout the season. It's ball out or bust. The rules are simple. I'm just going to give you a name, and you're going to tell me if you think they're going to ball out this season or if they're going to be a bust, all right? Smells, we'll come to you first. And
Nice.
We'll start with the first overall pick. It's Cam Ward. Is he balling out or is he busting?
It's a tough one. I don't think Cam Ward is under too much pressure in a relatively poor Titans team. I think he doesn't bust to the extent that he's not QB1 next year, but he doesn't ball out. It's more of a bust. Think of Caleb Williams last year, where it's unspectacular in a poor team. I don't think he's a game changer.
Yeah, I think he's got to connect early with Calvin Ridley, and he's got to hope Tony Pollard can stay fit, who's an older back.
Good back there, to be fair.
interesting.
He's got
back,
to
solid
find his feet as well. And like you say, it's relatively low stakes inside a Titans team, but he is the first overall pick, so you're going to want him to perform.
His attitude, what we've seen so far, and what's been reported with him being the first in and last out, is really good. So I can't knock him for that. It's just whether he actually can make the difference in a poor team, which is a big ask.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Oliver, coming to you then, another high-profile rookie in Travis Hunter.
It's a tough one.
And
It's
which
a tough
position?
one. Exactly.
Well, he's not
He's a
going to
dual
play. He's
threat.
not going to play. He's going to play wide receiver. He's not playing cornerback throughout. The
Look,
Jags can't
let's
do that,
base
so.
it off. Let's base it off him being a wide receiver. I think he balls out,
Really,
but I think he balls out.
week
but I
in,
think
week
he's
out,
gonna-
this man's going to ball out. Is he?
I think he's going to be overshadowed by Brian Thomas Jr., who had so much success last year, and I think ultimately, I'm going to throw a curveball. I think Travis Hunter's going to have to get used to being a wide receiver too. He really is, and that's a massive, massive shift from what he was experiencing in Colorado.
Yeah, but it's a different
It
league.
really
He's
is.
coming into the NFL. You can't just
It
you
is,
can't just
but-
rock up and expect the big leads all of a sudden.
Well, maybe, yeah, but when you're the second overall pick and you've been traded for, they traded up to get him. Maybe you can, and Cohen's an offensive mind. He's an offensive coach. He's now a head coach. He's gonna want that out of him, and he's probably gonna expect that mentality.
Even if he goes for 800 and Brian Thomas goes for 1200, that
Exactly.
for me is a ball out. It works.
I agree.
2,000 between them, 2,000
You
plus.
say Cam Ward's
Yeah.
got no pressure. I think the pressure with Travis Hunter is actually on Trevor Lawrence. Like we said earlier, it's make or break for him this season, Trevor Lawrence. And if
100%.
Travis can't give him those options and provide him that conversion, I think Trevor Lawrence is out the door, personally. Look, moving on. Russell Wilson, Matt. Is he going to ball out or bust at his new team?
Great pick.
I think he'll ball out.
Ooh.
I think the Giants look good this year. Actually, I do think they look good. I think he balls out. Does he get replaced mid-season by Jackson Dart? Possibly. However, over the last couple of years, I think he's still performed relatively well, in the same way that Aaron Rodgers did in the Jets last year. His time is limited, but it's a very tough schedule.
There's nothing
And
like
still getting
balling out.
replaced.
There's nothing like balling out and getting replaced.
It's great. I'm
Next
just covering
season.
all bases.
Fantastic.
I
There's
think
nothing
he's
like
good.
it.
I think he's good.
There's nothing instills confidence like that.
The only problem is the fixture list is so difficult.
Yeah.
I think he's
So
there.
he's gonna get hurt.
He's
He's
there
gonna
to
get
be a
hit.
mentor for Dart, and he's not going to produce anything special. And then Dart can take the last 3 games of the season when they don't make the playoffs. That's what I'm saying.
Russell Wilson has been
just
great in this
screams-
game, though.
It screams throwing it too far downfield one too many times in a game. He is not the type to lay low when he's already thrown a few picks. He'll happily chug back on and throw even more picks. And Leak's gonna be down there somewhere. We know that.
Yeah.
'Cause he's a
Yeah,
stud.
but he's going to be triple mark.
So-
He's going to be triple mark.
Yeah,
So
listen. It's interesting. I agree with you completely. I think he's a dart mentor, and it'll be if they've not got a few wins on the board by sort of week 8, week 9. I think it's around week 8 that's been touted because they have either a bye week or I think the week after they play someone like the Panthers. It's a pretty easy game for someone to be eased in. You might see Jackson Dart.
Yeah. Well, look. Speaking of mentors, Aaron Rodgers, Oliver, is he going to ball out at the Steelers? Is he past it? Is he ever going to recover from that injury at the Jets? I don't know, man.
It kills me, man.
I know. It's a shame. It's a real shame.
It kills me to say this, but I think Aaron Rodgers is a bust, and I can't believe I'm saying that. Aaron Rodgers,
but it's not a hot take. We know he's a future.
He was good last year, though.
Famer. He's a good player. He ended the season really well with the Jets. There's no two ways about it. They beat a divisional rival on the last day of the season. He probably got Tay Adams in some good run of form as well, which is what he pushed the trade for them. I mean, it's Tay Adams, but yeah, I just think there's a lot of pressure on the running back room, which Rodgers we know will try and utilise. That's just how he's always played. He'll have had an influence on Arthur Smith's playbook. He keeps making out that he's not going to, but he will have. And then it's just finding DK Metcalf, who needs to stay fit, and he's not been proven to stay fit. So it looks great on paper. I think, unfortunately, it's going to be a bust situation that I don't think just comes down to A-Rod, but if we're specifically talking about Aaron, it's bust.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if Rodgers does have some influence over the playbook. Which running back he's going to start? Is it going to be Johnson? Or is it going to be Warren? Because
100%.
Warren's been waiting
Big
for
question.
this RB1 role, and
Big
he might
question
not even
mark.
get it now with Johnson in the picture. Smells coming to you. It's probably going to be slightly biased, but CMC, is he back? Is he balling out?
Well, for my fantasy prospects, unfortunately, yes, because our good old pal Matthew Goodban managed to scam one of our friends out of CMC this year.
That's untrue. He got a great deal.
Yeah, CMC's back. Don't get me wrong. Is there a chance he gets injured? Yes, but that's the same as any running back. Is there maybe a slightly higher chance? Yes. However, let's say half of his seasons, which I know isn't a great success rate, he has been unbelievable. And I think this year, with the extra rest from last year, because he was rested at the end of last year when they were out of the playoffs, full off season, got married, he's had a child. He will go for way over 1,200, 1,300, maybe even 1,500, depending on what the RB2 situation's like, because he will share more snaps. But he is an integral part of any success we have.
We'll see how he's been handling those sleepless nights as well with the baby. So it'll be interesting.
He's a machine. Doesn't matter.
I think you're right. I think he's back.
Well, you heard it here first. Quote Smells on that throughout the season when he's.
Don't come to me if your fantasy collapses because of it, because I had that last year after I got Goody last year.
Look, last one. We're running out of time. Last one. Brock Bowers, Oliver. Is it a sophomore slump, or is he going to continue to ball out in this Raiders offense?
I am incredibly confident on this that Brock Bowers is a bust next year. And
is that just because of the new haircut?
I think it's the receding
bad,
hairline.
It was bad before, but it's bad for a man of his age.
I just think Pete Carroll coming in, it's not a nightmare for Brock Bowers. I just think it massively changes things. Geno Smith doesn't typically like to use his tight ends. They've brought Jonty in at pick 5 or 6, whenever it was, and John. It's just going to be run. It's going to be run the ball with Pete Carroll, 100%. And I think they'll always be. They'll always run. They'll
run the ball with Pete Carroll.
The ball with Pete can be. We'll reach out. There'll be underneath. There'll be outside opportunities. There'll be drag routes for it, like there always is. There'll be all of that shiny stuff, and I'm sure Pete will have some exciting stuff where we can use him. I think you'll see him blocking a bit more this year. He's really good at it.
Yeah,
simply
he is a machine.
I think there's better tight ends out there this year. And again, if we talk fantasy terms, I know Trey McBride's going to be a really big prospect. Kittle's on for another big year after the extension.
Tight end one this year. Yep.
Yeah. So look, it's interesting. I think he's a bust.
Can I quickly say on that?
You can.
I don't necessarily disagree. What I would say is the Raiders' offensive line is dreadful, which will hurt the run quite a lot, and it might mean that Geno has to send a few checkdowns to Brock, which could help. His targets, I think, will be high, maybe not his yards, but we'll see.
And they don't have a deep ball receiver. They don't have a deep receiver, so you will see, as crazy as we did last year with, I think it was Minshew under centre or O'Connell that they had at one point. Who was it? I can't remember now. I think it was
Gardner for quite a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. You will see Bowers run posts, and you will occasionally not massively deep posts, but he will run posts. He will run little out routes. He's all right. He you know what I mean. He can break off the line and get the ball pretty quickly. But yeah, I think the check down thing that Matt said is massive.
It is huge. I've just got one more.
You're hijacking ball out of bust, are you?
Yes, because I've missed my chance. I want everyone to tune in for the cracker that is Jimmy G versus Trey Lance this week.
No.
And that's all we need
way.
to know.
No way. Right, okay. Well, on
The
that
boys are back.
bombshell, on that terrible take, that is all we've got time for on the Early Hours podcast this week. But don't forget, we're going to try and keep doing this twice a week, right? So stick with it and tune in again. And we'll see you on the next one. Big games coming up, bigger episodes of the podcast.